welcome you into this physical space where you have found your way here in this moment. I welcome you into this emotional space where you're bringing your attention inward and really focusing on your well-being for these next few minutes. And then maybe, most importantly, I welcome you into this mental space where we're not trying to turn our mind off. We're not trying to make our mind quiet or just completely asleep. We're really trying to find a different kind of awareness. And so as you begin to settle in, just start to find a good rhythm of breath. We'll breathe together in a second, but first, it's your breath. It's your tempo. Whatever feels right for you in this moment. And it's not that the breath is this magical trick or the silver bullet, but just notice how quickly things begin to settle when you focus on your breath. It's such an amazing ally to all the things that we go through in life, but we forget about it. We get so busy and so overwhelmed. And there's so much noise around us that we truly forget to intentionally and mindfully breathe. So right here and now, just notice the impact that it has on you. And we're on a journey for the next few times together through this understanding of mindfulness. I shared the other day that while it is a thousands and thousands of year old practice, it is so relevant and so timely for us in our lives today. It's also kind of become this buzzword in these circles throughout our communities, at the workplace, in schools, in all kinds of circles and groups. And I have to pause and think that whatever it is that brings this topic, this concept to these places, the most important thing is that it's coming. Because this practice, this mindful way of living, it's not just about dealing with our stress. It's not just about slowing down the whirling of our brains and our minds. It's about how we choose to live. And so as I invited you to first settle in and invite yourself into this physical space, and then settle into this emotional space, and then oftentimes most difficult, to really invite yourself into the mental space where you are. And I wonder if sometimes we don't almost kind of like or appreciate the noise of our world because it keeps us from going into our mental space. We can blame it on the noise and the distractions, but at the end of the day, it keeps us from having to just sit with us. But this practice assures us that that's exactly what we need to do, to learn to sit with us. So let's begin to take a few breaths collectively. So just take a slow, deep inhale. And then a complete exhale. And a full breath in. And a full breath out. And one more time, breathing in. And breathing out. And then as you return to your pace, your cadence of breath that feels good, just think about this idea of this collective breath. Knowing that across these airways of this Zoom, of this recording, there are other people sitting in their homes, sitting at their office, at their desk, in their car, wherever they found themselves, breathing collectively in a way to calm and settle themselves. That in and of itself can restore our hope for this world that we're living in, knowing that there are others doing exactly what we're doing. I have to believe that across the globe right now, there is someone else sitting and reminding themselves of the importance of the breath, reminding themselves that it's okay to sit with me, reminding themselves that my showing up matters in this practice. And so I want to share with you just a quick, easy little statement that is so full from Thoreau. He wrote it so long ago, but it has such relevance for us today. In just a matter of a very few words, he said, "Only that day dawns to which we are awake." Listen to it again. Only that day dawns to which we are awake. And I can tell you, I teach a lot of sunrise yoga and I always joke and say that the sun comes up because we're on our mat and we're ushering it into the sky. But what happens in our world is that sun does come up and that new day does start. But when you think about the words of Thoreau, what he's saying is, the day only dawns to those of us who are awake. Otherwise, it just becomes a rhythm of nature. The sun is up, the sun is down, it's rotating, or it's not rotating, we're rotating and we're moving around until we have light and then we have dark. But do we really understand the gift of this day? I love seeing people post on their social media these pictures of the Texas sunrise and the Texas sunset and how beautiful it is. But I wonder, when I see those, do they appreciate and feel gratitude for the day, for the moment they've been given, as much as they appreciate the pinks and the oranges and the yellows and the reds of the sunrise and the sunset? I don't want to miss the dawn of the new day any more than I want to miss spending time with myself. Because what my study has taught me is that when we can learn to truly be awake, truly conscious, truly aware, we will restore harmony and peace and contentment in our lives. We don't do it for the result, but the result comes. I've lived it, I've experienced it, and I've also lived the other side. Only that day dawns to those of us who are awake. And so what I would invite us to do across these next few minutes that we have in the quiet is I want us to sit and observe, almost systematically. I'll kind of guide us through some different spots in our being that we can observe. And what I would ask that we do is just take stock, just notice. Don't judge it. Don't stop and think about it and assign any kind of labels to it. Just observe. And when you can do that, you are actually cultivating this awakeness that Thoreau was talking about. So that you won't just see the colors of the sunrise, you will feel in every inch of your being the true blessing of a new day. The true gift of this next inhale. And I have a feeling that no matter who we'd stop and ask, they would all say the same thing. They want it. But sitting with ourselves for some people is a little scary and a little uncomfortable, and maybe that's you. But I would invite us to try it collectively while we're trying it individually. And so just notice the way that you're seated or the way that you're lying down first. And just very intentionally, almost again systematically, scan your physical being. Notice your posture. Notice the spots in your body that tend to move a little more than others. Maybe they're restless, maybe they're uncomfortable. Notice the spots that feel light and at ease. Check in with your jaw and your forehead and your temples. Just get an awareness of the physical state of all these parts. And so without going beyond the physical, let's just sit for these next few breaths. And again, just watch, notice, take stock, and let's cultivate this awareness of this moment. And then if it feels comfortable for you, I would invite you to take one of your hands and just place it right at heart center. And if not, just kind of imagine that you're just pressing on that spot and just leave it there while you breathe and while you sit or while you lie down. And now I'd like us to observe and notice what's going on with us emotionally. What path have you walked today? Are there moments of gratitude that you can reflect on here? Were there moments where you felt anxious? Were there moments when you became a little impatient or agitated? Were there moments when you felt joy and gladness? Were there moments where you felt sorrow and heartbreak? There's so many other emotional responses that I could name, but as you just hold on right there at your heart, what I'd like you to notice is that all of those feelings are valid. Right below the hand that's pressing into your heart is this storehouse of all these emotions of who we are. And in one day, we can feel the full continuum. Some of these emotional responses tend to linger and last a little longer than others. But can you notice these things about yourself and accept them without judgment? The same way you notice that restless part of your body, or that little twinge in your shoulder, or that little piece of your hip that always tends to bother you. Can you accept yourself emotionally in the same way? Then you can allow your hand to come back down to your lap and get comfortable. What I'd like for us to do as we sit in quiet for these next few minutes is just imagine that for the next little while, for us, it'll be these next few minutes. Maybe for you, it'll be a little longer. Imagine that you're the only one you have to sit with. Maybe you live by yourself. Maybe you live with others and they've already gone to bed. But it's just you. Can you cultivate comfort in it just being you? With the physical things you noticed about yourself, with this emotional storehouse of things within you. Can you sit with you and appreciate the gift of the new day? Appreciate the blessing of the next breath without relying on other people or anything around you. Can you be okay with it just being you? And so just notice It may get uncomfortable. You may fidget mentally, physically, or you may just sit in amazement of this person that you get to sit with. But through it all, slow breath in, full breath out. Only that day dawns to which we are awake. Our awake is brought about by our awareness. It doesn't start as we look at the sunrise or as we stand on a yoga mat. It starts right here. In these moments of stillness, cultivating a sense of true awareness and an acceptance of that awareness, until eventually you don't have to think about the acceptance anymore. It just becomes your default. I'm aware that these were the emotions that I felt today. I'm aware of this is the state of things in my physical being. I'm aware of my thoughts. And I'm okay sitting with this person just a little longer. It doesn't happen overnight, but it is something that we are cultivating with each showing up to this practice. So that tomorrow, we don't just look at the big sunrise and gaze at the colors and the shades. We realize that the sun has risen. We are present, and we have the gift of a new day to continue to cultivate our state of awakeness, our awareness, fully taking in all the parts of us and all the parts of this incredible life that we are so honored to get to live. Namaste.